Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name's Katie and I like to make art videos, mainly character design, and I've really been enjoying that so far. Speaking of that, today I thought that I would do a part 2 to the video that I made last week. I basically did a medieval and futuristic character and combined those two into one. And a comment I got on that video, which by the way, thank you guys so much for all the support. It really means a lot to me. Anyway, the comment said that the medieval futuristic thing reminded them of Nimona. And I remember reading that graphic novel like when I was younger. And oh my gosh, you're so right. I can't believe I didn't even think of that. Yeah. Another comment I got said that it would be cool if instead of the character caring a lot about their armor, they were more focused on the clothes they wore. And I thought that was such a cool concept, and so that's what we're going to be doing today. So yeah, thank you so much to my cat as the user and Space Spade for your support. I really appreciate it. If anyone else would like a shout out if I'm getting fancy, you know, subscribing and liking and leaving a comment, all of it's free and it means so much to me. It really makes me just so happy and really want to continue doing this channel. So any support you'd be willing to give, even just by watching this video, like thank you so much. Okay, I'll stop being annoying and let's get into the video. Okay, I'll be honest, I am so mad at myself right now because I was editing and then I just looked back at the audio I was working with and it sucked and it was so weird, so here I am redoing it. To get into the actual design now, I started off by listing some things that I, wanted for the character and just some elements that I really wanted to be involved. I was thinking that a long skirt could be super important, considering that in the last video, by the way, if you haven't watched that, what are you doing here? Because this is literally all about the last video. Yeah. In the last video, short skirts were really important because they tied into the prosthetic legs that a lot of people had. And I'm thinking that if this character, didn't pay a lot of attention to armor and stuff like that, maybe they, weren't in the wars and they didn't have any need for prosthetic armor. I'm also, not prosthetic legs. I'm also thinking that they would be a very confident person because, again, they don't feel this need to, conform to society or whatever. So yeah, that was kind of what I was rolling with. Another thing that I wanted to be important was, I wrote down embroidery, but I think what I really meant was just a lot of effort being put into the outfits they wore. And so you'll see in the final design, I include a lot of patterns and just try to make everything look really purposeful. Again, it doesn't look that good. I feel like I really flopped with this video. I'm sorry if you agree with that by the end. If you do, please don't say anything because I will cry. Yeah, anyways, moving on to the next thing. I also really wanted jewelry to be important and hats and accessories and stuff like that. And I also wanted the hair to, be pretty and they put effort into how they dress, and I wanted that for the character. And so what you're seeing right now is just a ton of concept art that I'm coming up with right now. So yeah, sorry, I don't think I explained that earlier, but that's just what I'm doing here. For the actual designs that I'm working on, you can see at first I started to do very beige and neutral colors with a lot of embroidery and, boning on corsets and elements focused on that. And in these later designs, I'm experimenting with more color and patterns and just kind of going with the idea that maybe color and patterns are how this character expresses themselves. And I was trying to really roll with that, and I think that that really carried out into my last design. Even though I didn't end up muting the colors, the patterns are definitely still there. One design that I just finished working on, but you can see, it was this brown one with these sheer panels and stuff and this caramel boning on the corset. I really liked that. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just the colors, but I feel like I definitely took a lot of inspiration from that with the little polka dots and again the colors. And this next design, it was definitely just a sketch, but it was kind of playing with silhouettes and really flowy things. I add in this gray background because the white was hurting my eyeballs, but I do this really pale white hand, like, Miss Girl, you are not a vampire. By the way, another shameless little plugin, which I'm doing a lot of today. I did do a vampire OC, but that was my first video. And I have, like, looked back at that video and cringed so hard. So I would say please watch that video to help boost my channel. But I really don't want you to see that side of me. So, it depends on how much you value your eyeballs. So, yeah, moving on. Here I start working on the final design. And I really want silhouette to be important. I give her this huge flowy skirt, like you need a hoop skirt underneath. I add this hat and this bag and these little rosettes on the bottom of her skirt. Just like, I want her to look like a cake, like a pretty wedding cake. Do you know what I'm saying? I also add on this like armor corset apron type situation because this is in the, you know, what's the word? Medieval world. Like, I feel like there's a lot of, sorry, not medieval, futuristic world. I feel like there's a lot of medieval elements, but I do want some of that armor to be involved and not just like what people would wear on the streets. And so yeah, I tried to add in a lot of armor references, even though I don't really think it came across. Here you can see me adding on more detail to her bag. And I don't really think they had bags like this back in whatever time period this is set in, but I really like the way it looks, so I kept it. I add in the shape of her hair, which kind of looks like a whale's tail, and honestly, I'm kind of here for it. And this is where I change up the face a little just to make her look a little nicer, if that makes sense. I fixed the hair here and make it look less like a whale's tail and more of like a ponytail, and I start coloring. I add a lot of pinks and purples and blues and yellows and greens and just really bright colors in general, even though I do end up toning them down a lot. One of the things I was thinking that she would express herself with is color. But like, yeah, so even though I remove it in the end, I like the concept of it. So yeah, she's her. I add in these like stripes on her skirt, and I really like the way those look. Like, that's like maybe the coolest part about this design, because I don't do many patterns and textures, so I thought this was a cool, fun thing for me to do. I add in the polka dots on her purple underskirt, I guess you would say. I don't really know. I make her corset a lot darker to look more like armor, but it could also just be a corset, if that makes sense. And here you can see I'm about to add in this brown underskirt, and that's where I get the idea to really mute her whole design down. And I just really want her to look more cohesive, and I think the filters kind of do that. So I just toned down her dress to be a very autumny palette, and it kind of really works. Like, I'm actually here for it. Also, last note, you can see the shoes that I do at the bottom. They're like these black heels. I do these for every single character. I have a problem and I need to stop. So yeah, that is an issue. But you can see we're approaching the end here. Her hat kind of looks like leaves in, you know, like autumn, and her skirt does too. And I'm just really happy with the way that looks in general. And, you know, this design was definitely a lot less detailed than some of my past things, or at least I like to think it is. But I did still try, and I still hope that you enjoyed it, even if it is less than what I expected from myself, I guess you could say. So yeah, we're at the end of the video now. I'm like kind of happy with the way this went. Obviously, like I just said, I think I could have done better, but it's too late now, and hopefully you still enjoy. I'm gonna really try to pull myself together for next week's video, but no promises because I am struggling. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I like the vibes that she has, and I think she's kind of a cool character. Again, thank you so much to My Cat Is My User. and Space Spade for your support. I appreciate it so much. And thank you all for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed. Have a great rest of your day.